My pranams to all Atma Jyotis, divine light of self. I welcome all of you for today's session of Mandukya Karika. Let us continue our contemplation on the teachings of Mandukya Karika. Let us offer our respects to Guru Parampara. Sadashiva Samarambam, Shankaracharya Madhyamam, Asmadacharya Paryantam, Vande Guru Paramparam, Shruti Smriti Purananam, Alayam, Karunalayam, Namami, Bhagavat Padam, Shankaram, Loka Shankaram. Mandukya Karika is explanation of 12 shlokas of Mandukya Upanishad. Mandukya Upanishad in 12 shlokas captures the essence of spirituality. It is a very profound teaching. The 12 shlokas contain wealth of information. It's a gold mine. It's difficult for us to understand these 12 slokas. That's why Sri Gaudapada Acharya has written a karika, a commentary, explanation of Mandukya Upanishad in the form of Mandukya Karika. It's called Gaudapada Hridayam. In that, the principle of Advaita Tattva, non-duality, is explained beautifully. So, very authentic reference for non-duality, understanding of non-duality is Mandukya Karika. If you understand Mandukya Karika, deep understanding of Advaita Tattva, Advaita teaching is available to all. So the difference between the Karika and Bhashya, Shankaracharya has written a Bhashya on Mandukya Upanishad. Karika and Bhashya is, Bhashya will take exact Upanishad words and explain that. Word by word, everything in the Upanishad is explained. In Karika, the word by word explanation is not important. Understanding the essence is important. In that way, Karika and Bhashya are different. We may have a question, why Bhashya and why Karika? So let us recollect what we have learned in the waking state. What did we learn in the waking state? The waking state, the totality of experience, what we have, is nothing but Atma, the self, appearing as a Pratama Pada, the first aspect, in the form of manifest world and experience of Jiva. Jiva and Jagat. So now the Jiva has a feeling of limitation. I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect. With this feeling of limitation, Jiva becomes Kartaham, Bhoktaham, Gnataham. I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, I am not knower. When I identify with the body, I become the knower, doer. When I identify with mind, I become the enjoyer. When I identify the intellect, I become the knower. Now, who identifies here? Who is the one who is identifying? The knower. The knower has a problem. The knower identifies the body and says, I am the doer. The knower identifies the mind and says that I am the enjoyer. The knower has the ignorance. Ignorance is not the knower. The doer, there's no ignorance. The enjoyer, there's no ignorance. That's why the knower's ignorance is removed through Jnana. Doer's ignorance cannot be removed because ultimately knower becomes the knower, takes the form of doer. Intellect. Consciousness identified with the intellect. Chidabhasa with the intellect. Jiva, the knower. Right? So the knower is the problem. Now that knower is of three states of consciousness. Knower is a different status. In deep sleep, knower is not a knower. Because There's nothing, there's an instrument of knowledge, sense organs and mind are switched off. The knower has nothing to know. Then what remains is a pure awareness, who is called Pratyagatma, innermost self, which is your true nature. It is like I'm seeing the world through my glasses, red glasses. The world appears to be red. So when I remove the glasses, there's nothing to, no redness is there. So the Pratyagatma, the instruments of Pratyagatma, the body, mind, and sense organs are switched off, in a sense, in deep sleep. Then what remains? The Pratyagatma, the Atma itself, self itself. Now, that Pratyagatma is the knower or the Sakshi. In deep sleep, there's nothing to know. Still, it's called Pratyek knower. Why? It's a potential knower. It's a covert knower, potential. In the waking state, in dream state, it becomes a knower. When it puts on the glass instruments of body and mind, it becomes a knower. Are you clear? When they put all the instruments of body and mind, immediately there is a identification. There's a forgetfulness of my nature as Pratyagatma. The body, mind, intellect gets superimposed on the Pratyagatma. Intellect, when it gets superimposed, it becomes, I become the knower. I don't understand my actual state, earlier status was not a knower, not a doer, not a enjoyer. Na karta, abhokta, akarta, abhokta, adnata. I'm not the doer, enjoyer, and knower in deep sleep. Because I have an instrument, I become the doer, knower, and enjoyer. So, who has a problem? The knower has a problem. In deep sleep, I am a potential knower. In waking state, I become an actual knower by having identified with the buddhi, intellect. Right? So, all the teaching is given to the knower. So, in the waking state, we said jiva identifies the body and becomes a doer. Body is the doing instrument. And jiva identifies the mind and becomes enjoyer. Jiva means the knower. The chidabhasa plus buddhi combination. So, the way Shastra, the purpose of Upanishad is to remove your ignorance. That's why jiva is placed in the universal consciousness, not an individual consciousness. You think I am an individual consciousness, you are placed in the universal consciousness. Jiva is placed as Deva, universal consciousness. Deva is the totality. That Deva is called Vishwa Deva. So Jiva, my dear Jiva, you think you are limited by body. You are one with the Vishwa Deva. Vishwa. Why? Because when we wake up in the morning, we think that I have woken up into the world. World is separate from me. Without understanding, the body and mind and intellect also appearing together with the world. World and body and mind and intellect appearing together. It's a package deal. You are separating yourself from the world and saying, I have woken up in the world. In reality, the body, mind, intellect, and the world has appeared together. It's a package. It's a total package. You cannot separate them out like that. So the totality is what you are experiencing in the waking state. Totality is experiencing. We are thinking that individual is experiencing. Reality, the totality is experiencing. That's why it's called Deva. In our illusion, we are carving out an individuality out of the totality. Illusion of whom? Jiva. Jiva is consciousness, chidabhasa, reflect on the intellect together. That becomes the knower. That has a wrong understanding of life. And this is the error. Error in understanding. That's all. Nothing else. The error can be corrected. That's why Jnana helps. Jnana alone helps. Okay. So now, if the universe in the waking state is the Pratama Pada, the Atma appears as the universe. And the totality of appearance of the universe is called Virat. In totality, there's no experience and experiencer. The subject-object duality is not there. Totality. So the consciousness, the universal consciousness appears to the world. Is there experience there? In the totality, there's no experience. Only subject-object duality, there is experience. In the totality, the consciousness experiencing itself, you can find in deep sleep. The totality, there's no object. In deep sleep, there's no object. The consciousness is experiencing itself there's no experienced and experiencer. Object duality is not there. The consciousness is experiencing itself. There's no subject and object. And what that experience is? Bliss of deep sleep. Understand? But in the waking state, the objects of the world are appearing. So the objects of the world, the consciousness experiences through Jiva, the objects of the world. So you think that Jiva is experiencing. It is the totality of consciousness is experiencing object of consciousness. Right? So object and subject are nothing but thoughts in the mind. When you say object or subject, it is nothing but a thought. Appearance. Nama and Rupa. Name and form is appearance. Name and form is nothing but mind appearing. So now the consciousness experiences objects in the waking state. So who is the experiencer now? I think I am the experiencer, but is the consciousness experiences the object. That's why it's called Bahish Pradnaha. Pradna means our awareness, our consciousness, awareness is outside. Awareness is on the outer object. Now, from the totality point of view, there's nothing called outer and inner. From my point of view, there's inside me, outside me, because of the body. From the totality point of view, there's no outer and inner. Right? But Jiva is placed in the totality and says, Jiva is experiencing something outside. Jiva is experiencing something outside. From totality point of view, there's nothing outside, inside. So the Vishwadeva is the totality. Jiva is placed in Vishwadeva. Like wave is said, for wave is suffering, I am separate. So wave is told, no, you are not separate. You are a part of, ocean is appearing as a wave. In that way, the totality of consciousness is appearing as Jiva and Jagat. So Jiva experiences the world. We think Jiva thinks I am experiencing the world. In fact, the consciousness through Jiva is experiencing the world. Consciousness is experiencing itself. The subject and object are nothing but consciousness only, appearing in different way. So, first step is all the activities, physical world, the body, all the bodies of the living beings are functioning not because of Jiva, not because of me. It is because of the Vaishwanara, the universal consciousness. Understand? Universal consciousness operating through all the bodies makes the body function. Your eyes are functioning. My ears are functioning. My eyes are functioning. A donkey's animal's eyes are functioning. A horse's eyes are functioning. All the bodies, the functioning consciousness in all the bodies is called Vaishwanara. The functioning aspect of consciousness is called Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, Samana. 5 pranas. So, who is Vaishwanara? Vaishwanara is none other than Atma. Pratyekatma, innermost self. Pratyekatma has appeared as Vaishwanara. Pratyekatma itself has appeared as Vaishwanara. Vishwadeva. Vaishwanara and Vishwadeva are same. So now Pratyekatma has appeared as Vaishwanara. Now, what is told is, I am Atma Brahma. That means your Pratyekatma is not limited to your body. It is a totality, which I don't know. The Jnana is given. First, you are told, you are Pratyekatma. I am Atma Brahma. Yourself is Brahman. Means deep sleep state, you are Brahman. So a little bit I can feel comfortable. I am peaceful. I am blissful. There's no duality in deep sleep state. I can understand. But my problem is, my Brahman nature is forgotten in the waking state because the Jiva is getting superimposed on the Pratyekatma. Right? So Jiva plus Pratyegatma combination is called Jivatma. So Jivatma thinks I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, I am the knower. And because I am limited to the body. First told Jivatma, my dear, look at body. You think that you are the body. Now, what part of body you are running? What part of body activity you are controlling? Do your finger like this. Can you make it happen? There's a blood flow, there's a nervous energy. All those activities of the body are happening because of Vaishwanara, which is universal consciousness, not individual. God is operating through the body. Some millions of operations are happening within the body. None of them are done by Jiva. But Jiva claims that I am the doer. So the first ignorance of Jiva is that I am the doer. Who has the ignorance? The knower has the ignorance. The knower stands as the doer. So when you tell that all doing is Vaishwanara, okay, and Jiva is told you are Vaishwanara, you are a Pratyegatma, and Vaishwanara. Now Vaishwanara doesn't do anything. Please understand, Vaishwanara doesn't do anything. In the presence of Vaishwanara, 5 pranas function. Prana is a part of Prakriti, nature. So now who is the doer here really? From the totality point of view, there's no movement. From the subject-object point of view, there's a movement and action. From Jiva point of view, for Jiva, it's explained that you are a part of the whole. No, you're not a part of the whole. Not as a body. The totality of all bodies is being maintained by the consciousness called Vaishwanara, or run by the consciousness called Vaishwanara. That's why Bhagavad Gita sloka is Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritam Prana Apana Samayukto Pachaminnam Chaturidam. I take the food, and Jiva thinks that I am eating the food, I am enjoying the food. It is the Vaishwanara fire digests the food. The karma phala for the Jiva is given by the Vaishwanara. Eating food is okay, karma, but the food has to be digested, no? The phala has to be given, no? Phala is given by Vaishwanara. This is with respect to food. Any karma assumed by the Jiva, karma, Jiva thinks I am doing it. So that karma phala comes from the Vaishwanara. Sanchita karma, prarabdha karma, agami karma, kriyamana karma. The phala is brought by Vaishwanara because Vaishwanara is the consciousness operating in the waking world, waking state, waker consciousness. And Vaishwanara is the experience. Vaishwanara is the knower in the waking state. So now, really Vaishwanara has no ignorance because Vaishwanara is the totality. Vaishwanara replaces the Jiva in the Vaishwanara. We say superimpose ignorance on Vaishwanara. Vaishwanara Vaishwanara doesn't know he is a Pratyegatma. Pratyegatma is Brahman. He is Pradna. Vaishwanara is told that he is not the Pradna. Doesn't know he is a Pradna, deep sleep guy. And ignorance is not there for Vaishwanara, but Jiva plus Vaishwanara combination. Jivatma, there is ignorance. Right? So the doership of Jiva, there's a question now. Is individual doer, Jiva individually doer? There's no independent doership for the Jiva in the waking state. But we think we are independent doer. I give an example of making a cup of coffee and all. So the enjoyership is there for Jiva. Now, enjoyership of the Jiva, that starts going when you start the next state of consciousness, which is dream state. In the dream, who is the enjoyer? I am the enjoyer. And what is enjoyed? My own dream. Both are dream objects. Subject and object is myself. Jiva can understand a little bit better with respect to dream state. Dream state, same mind appears as subject and object. In dream, I drink a cup of coffee. There's no really coffee called object called coffee. The coffee is myself only, the drinker only. The subject and object are one only in the dream state. That you can understand waking state. Right? So we are going to the next state of consciousness. It's called prajna. not prana, Taijasa. We have three states of consciousness: waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. Small I is the jiva, which is body, mind, intellect. And big I is the Atma, pure awareness. So in the waking state, dream state, deep sleep state, Atma is there in the background, always. In the waking state, relative existence, a small I comes into picture. Jiva, I am the body, mind, intellect. The big I is always there. Which one? What? No, it's okay. It's okay. No. Your Tattvamasi is referring to deep sleep state. Tattvamasi explanation is more clear with respect to deep sleep. Right? When Upanishad says Tattvamasi, Tvam means Jiva. So Jiva is Brahman. It's very difficult for us to understand in waking state and dream state. Deep sleep state, Jiva is told as Brahman. Deep state, pure I is only there. There's no I, ego. Atma only is there. So that Atma is Brahman is told by Tattvamasi Vakya. So if you understand that, it's easier for us to understand rest of the states. In the dream state and the waking state, the small I comes into picture. So Vedantic teaching, Tattvamasi means you are the Pratyagatma, innermost self in the deep sleep state. And that Pratyagatma is not limited to your body, it's the infinite Brahman. In the waking state also, the same Pratyagatma is there. Like a screen is there and movie is there on the project on screen. The small I is the movie, the character. Project on the screen called pure I. Screen is always there. So you are Brahman in the waking state, you are Brahman in the dream state, you are Brahman in the deep sleep state. But you are not able to recognize that. Upanishad is helping you to recognize. So now we are going to dream state. In dream state, there are the energy flows in our body, in our mind, in our whole body-mind complex through energy channels called nadis. There are various nadis. So the high nadis which give are connected to conscious mind, nadis which are connected to subconscious mind. When you go to dream state, nadis connected to subconscious mind, it's called soma nadis, get activated. Subconscious mind, memory. Okay. So these nadis are in the brain. In deep sleep state, nadis originate from heart also. I'll show you that. In the dream state, different set of nadis are switched on. In the waking state, the energy flows in the solar sun nadi. In the dream state, soma or moon lunar nadi gets energized. So they are the lunar nadi fetches the impressions from the subconscious mind, and that's brought to conscious mind. There's some conscious mind also in the dream state, right? So that's why you remember I'm experiencing the dream also appears to be real waking state only, like a waking state only. Okay. So then what will happen? We'll take the first sloka of Mandukya Karika. They're still in the first sloka. Vaishpradno Vishwo, the one who has the external the extroverted consciousness is Vishwa. Pradnastu, Taijasastu, Taijasa is inner consciousness, introverted consciousness. Okay. In deep sleep, there's no differentiation in the consciousness, external and internal. So the deep dream character, dream consciousness, the dreamer consciousness, dreamer deva is called Taijasa. Okay. So we are looking at now Taijasa deva. Swapnasthano antapradha saptanga ekonavishati mukha pravikta book Taijaso dvitiya padaha. Taijasa is the second aspect of the self, second appearance of self. Taijasa is pravivikta book. Pravivikta book Taijasaha. Taijasa is also universal consciousness, not an individual consciousness at all. Jiva thinks I am dreaming. Okay, individual. It is the universal consciousness, Taijasa, which is responsible for experiencing the deep sleep, dream state. The internal world of mental objects is experienced. Taijasa has 19 mouths and 7 limbs. Saptanga Ekono Vimshati Mukha. Why it sold 77 limbs? Because we should not confuse that this Taijasa is an individual. It's not individual. It's a universal. It's a Deva. It's not a Jiva. Okay. What are the 7 limbs? The Antariksha, the heaven, head. The sun is the eyes. The wind is the breath. The oceans are the bladder, kidney. And earth is the 2 feet. 7 limbs is the totality of Taijasa. So because we start getting a confusion, what is Taijasa, what is Jiva? So Taijasa is totality. This is the body. So Jiva has 19 limbs, 5 karmendriya, 5 organs of action, karmendriya, 5 organs of sense organs, jnanendriya, 5 pranas, 5 pranas, manas, buddhi, ahankar, chitta. This is the individual experiencer. So this totality is called Taijasa. So Taijasa is not an individual Jiva. Taijasa is a collective of all the Jivas. Call all dreaming Jivas. Taijasa is a collective of all Jivas in the dreaming state. Okay. So now this knowledge is, please understand, this knowledge is given to Waker. The Waker or Vishwa, the knowledge is given. Right? Taijasa is the collective of all the Jivas in deep sleep state, dream state. Because in dream, I don't know, I dream also, I see a dream world and there are some people are sleeping. But the knowledge is always given to a waker. Vishwa. So many people in the world sleep. No, all animals will sleep. All the collective of the sleeper consciousness is called Taijasa. Dreamer consciousness. It's not an individual dreamer. Okay. Now, who is enjoying the dream? It is the Taijasa who is enjoying the dream. Jiva thinks I am enjoying the dream. The Jiva's enjoyership, individual enjoyership is under question mark now. Taijasa, being the totality, there is no subject-object duality, reality, in reality. Taijasa being totality is called Hiranyagarbha. The totality of consciousness is called Hiranyagarbha. In Hiranyagarbha, there is no subject-object duality. Okay. Hiranyagarbha is the consciousness if it experiences itself because there's no subject of duality. That's like a deep sleep state, the bliss. But Jiva has come into picture, the dream character, Jiva has come into picture. So Jiva has to be told, placed in the totality of Taijasa. Why? Because Jiva has a sense of separation. Jiva has a sense of duality. Something separate from me. Jiva is placed in the Taijasa, which is totality. Taijasa is none other than the Hiranyagarbha. Taijasa has no duality. But Jiva point of view, there is a duality. So Taijasa is none other than Hiranyagarbha. In Hiranyagarbha, there is no subject-object duality. It's a totality. Okay. The Jiva doesn't understand the totality. Jiva is looking at the world in a very small, narrow angle of body-mind complex. So Jiva is placed in the totality. My dear, you are a part of the totality. The totality of Taijasa, you are seeing, I am experiencing a dream. Dream is a universal experience, not an individual experience. It may be something specific to you in the dream, right? But it's a universal experience. A universal consciousness involved. Your dream seems to be private to you, but dreaming is universal. So the totality of the world, all living beings undergo through dreaming. The dreaming consciousness which is there in the dreaming is called Taijasa. See the universality of the whole experience. Dreaming is, we are considering individual experience. It's a universal experience of all living beings. Dreaming experience is there. It's a dreaming consciousness. In waking also, when you experience something, it appears to be private to you, individual. That's why the experience is about. In the dreaming also, you are seeing a dream world now. You are seeing a dream world. And dream world appears exactly like a waking world. You don't understand what is the dream and what is the experience, waking state. Dream is also like a waking state. From waking state point of view, I can say, I see, experience the world outside. In the dreaming also, I'm experiencing the world outside now. In the experience, is there a difference? There is some difference in terms of experience. What is the difference? We'll find out. We'll not get into that details. So now Taijasa means light. Taijasa is light. What kind of light is this? Flashlight, tube light, sunlight, moonlight. What light is that? The light is of two types, a physical light and non-physical light. There's a tube light here. There's a physical light. Sunlight is there, physical light. Okay. The presence and absence of physical light is known through the eyes. The eyes are required to know the physical light. Without eyes, there's no physical light. For a blind man, there's no physical light. There's no world, physical world in that sense. Correct? So, if something lights a light, physical light, that light which lights the physical light is greater light than the physical light. A candle is there. The candle is giving light in the room. When you switch on the tube light, immediately the candle light becomes small. Candle light also is shown in the tube light. The tube light is a bigger light. The sun is a bigger light. All this physical light is shown by the eyes, light of the eyes. Right? So light of the eyes is greater light than the physical light. So that greater light of the eyes is called Chakshudeva. Deva means illuminator. Deva means light, Divi. The physical light is also illuminated by Chakshudeva. The light of eyes is greater than the light of the world. So now, light of the mind is greater than the light of the eyes. Manodeva, the consciousness of the mind, is greater than the light of eyes, because with the mind only I know eyes are working or not working. When the mind is somewhere, I can't even see what is going on. So light of the mind is illuminated by the innermost self, Pratyekatma. The light of Pratyekatma, innermost self, Sakshi, Atma, is illuminating the mind, illuminating the sense organs, illuminating the world. This is what is meant by Antarjyotihi, Bahirjyotihi, Pratyekjyotihi, Paratpara, Jyotireva Jyoti, Swayam Jyoti, Atma Jyoti, Shivasmiham. Atma Jyoti is the light of awareness, Pratyekatma. Sakshi. So when it eliminates the outer world and experiences the outer world through Jiva, it's called Vaishwanara. When they experience the inner world, it's called Taijasa. Now you understand why light is called Taijasa. So for experiencing anything in physical world, we need light. Okay. In the mental world, there's no light. Physical light is not possible. Our sense organs are switched off, not working. Then where is the light coming from? The light, inner light, Pratyagatma, is coming as Taijasa, Antarjyotihi. The Atma Jyoti is appearing as Taijasa, Right? So Atma Jyoti is illuminating Taijasa. Atma Jyoti is Taijasa. Not just you. Entire universe, all living beings, when they're dreaming, Taijasa is illuminating. It's a universal experience, not an individual experience. It's a Sarvatrika. Okay. So now what is experiencing? What is being experienced? We say, my waking state experience in the form of impressions is coming in the dream state. The waking state, you gathered experience. Who gathered experience? Jiva, in the form of memory, impressions. Jiva thinks I am a doer. The doing is happening. The universal consciousness is operating. Jiva has a sense that I am the doer because identification in the body. The ignorance is recording a memory. I am the doer. So something is good or bad is happening to me. Impressions are recorded. So these impressions become the foundation for some of the foundations for dream state. The waking state, impressions. So now we can say, waking state, we have a movie recorder, a video camera, recording the outer world. All experiences are recorded in the waking state. In the dream state, some of the experiences are played. In the waking state, the mind becomes a recorder, video recorder. In the dream state, it becomes projector. Okay. So for a person, when he's dreaming, dream appears to be exactly like a waking state. He doesn't question with his dream. He's walking, he's going to a job, he's married, or he's going to a forest, picnic. Everything appears to be like a waking state only. Dreamer will never suspect that it's a dream state. But waker body has not come into dream body. Dreamer has a different body. So that's why waker personality has not come to dream. Then what has come? Some impressions have come. So now the question is the dream creation of a jiva? Is dream your creation? Is the question clear? Is the dream your creation? Because waking state impressions are coming. In the sense, waking state impressions are your creation because you are owning that. Jiva owns that. This is my experience. I am the doer, it's owning it. Dream is also a small part of the projection of the waking state. But please understand, what dream has to be seen is not decided by Jiva. It is decided by the Taijasa, universal consciousness. Which part of the memory has to be brought in? Jiva does not have access to the memory. Which impressions have to be brought in and experienced? You have a lot of impressions. Out of that, some impressions only will come out. This is not just for you. It is for everybody in the world, right? Some impressions are brought out. That which impressions have to be brought out is by the Hiranyagarbha, the totality or Taijasa. And what is the basis for bringing out certain impression? Please tell me. Certain impressions are brought out based on the prarabdha karma, your residual impressions. Prarabdha karma will bring out some impressions. If you have good punya prarabdha karma, the beautiful dreams will be there. If prarabdha karma papa, negative, what is the papa or suffering is there, then turmoil will be there in dream. Depending on your prarabdha karma, the dreams are projected by the Taijasa. And Jiva thinks I am the experiencer. It is the Taijasa which experiences, introverted experiencer experiences through Jiva. It's a universal consciousness which experiences through Jiva. Taijasa Deva experience through Jiva. And what experience depends on whatever is your prarabdha karma you've done. So Taijasa is no prarabdha. No, Taijasa is no prarabdha. Taijasa is not an experiencer. When you're putting Jiva together, Taijasa is the totality. So Jiva doesn't understand the totality. Jiva has a sense of illusion, the sense of duality. So we are telling that Taijasa, universal consciousness, Jiva cannot experience anything without the totality of dream world. Again, you are missing now. It's superimposed from Taijasa, I'm saying again. In very detailed, what is Deva and why is superimposed? Because Jiva has illusion that I am an individual entity. Please understand, when you come into the dream world and the dream character is projected totally. And dream character is experiencing the dream world as if it's an independent entity. We'll answer that later. Okay. So when you are experiencing it, the experience is universal. But experience is happening within that body, within the individual. Experience is happening. Only that experience is being illuminated by Taijasa. Taijasa is the light. It illuminates all the experiences. Experience happening within this mind is illuminated by Taijasa. Experience is universal. Individualized experiences because of Jiva, it identifies with a particular body-mind complex. And Jiva thinks it's only my particular experience. It's a Pratipasika Satya. It's not available to your body and mind complex. Electricity flows through everybody. It's universal. It gives bulb, light in one, fan in another. Now, that is individual. What it is illuminating the individual, also universal. Okay. So the experience which is happening with the individual is not available to other individual. Electricity is available to everybody, but experience of light bulb is not available to fan. Experience of dream state is universal. Through a body-mind complex, vasanas are projected and experienced. So that is localized to that Jiva. As long as you have mind and other, you are the experiencer, Jiva. Because your sense is still a sense of, you are speaking of I and the world. In your dream, okay, let me ask you, in your dream, who is the experiencer? In your dream, you went to a forest, a tiger chased you, and you started running. Now, who is the experiencer? You. The dream character is saying, I'm afraid of the tiger. So there is a sense of I and tiger are two entities. In dream, is there two different entities called you and tiger? The tiger and you is nothing but sleeper's consciousness appearing as tiger and you. There's no duality there. If you have a sense of duality, experience is limited to you. If you understand non-duality, experience is not limited to you. When you say it's my individual experience, pratibhasika satya, it's because you are still claiming that you are individual. The sense of duality is there. So dream is a very special state, by understanding which we can understand subject and object can be same. Still you have experience. You are the person who is running in the forest, tiger is chasing you. The subject and object are both are you. But you think you are separate from this object. Are you understanding one step closer to non-duality now? The subject and object are same. In the waking state, subject and object appear to be very different. In the dream also, subject and object appear to be different. But if you look at the dream experience from the waking state, then you understand subject and object is myself, my sleeper consciousness. Was there a duality there? Was there a tiger there? Was there a person who is running there, experiencer there? Two separate entities were not there. So, dream is a good indication of subject and object being same consciousness appearing in two forms. So, if subject and object is same consciousness, consciousness experiencing itself in the object form, is it real? In the dream, I ate a fruit. The fruit is the consciousness, the sleeper consciousness appearing as a fruit. The same fruit, same consciousness appearing as a eater. And eater thinks I am separate from the fruit. Is it reality? It's an appearance, right? But it appears to be very real to you. So appearance which appears to be very real is called mithya. If you examine closely, you understand there's no fruit and an individual. There are no two entities. So what appears to be you, what appears as a fruit is being eaten by what appears to be a character, dream character. You say, of course, I am the dream character. Okay. Both are appearances. Appearance eating a fruit and enjoying the fruit. Is the real enjoyer? Enjoyment, the subject and object, both are mithya, appearance only, not reality. Reality is what? Sleeper's consciousness, where there's nothing is happening. The background is sleeper's consciousness. The person is sleeping. Without his sleeper's consciousness, there's no eating of fruit. The fruit is dependent on sleeper consciousness. The character who is eating the fruit also is dependent on sleeper's consciousness. The sleeper is equivalent to Brahman. These are dependent realities. The sleeper character and the fruit and the forest which is there and the tiger which is there, all are nothing but appearance of the sleeper character. Appearances are not real. They're appearing and disappearing, momentary. So as long as the appearance is there and appears to be appearance is there, we call it as mithya. When you understand that appearances are not real, it's called asatya. That we can do only when we wake up. When we wake up, we can say there's no fruit, there's no tiger, there's no forest, there's no me also. So what happened to your fruit, whatever tiger, whatever your forest when you wake up? All asatya. Unreal. It's not there. Tiger is not there. The forest is not there. I am not there. It's not, what was not there appeared. So what was not there is called asatya. But when it appeared to be real to you. It's called mithya. Appear to you. So appearance is there, it's called mithya. Appearance is not there. When you understand appearance is not there, it's called asatya. So why is called Taijasa? Because Taijasa is the light. It eliminates the subject and object. Subject, Taijasa experience as a subject experiences the object. In reality, from the universal point of view, there's no experience. Because say self-experience itself is bliss only, nothing else is there. But from individual point of view, there's an objectified self, there's an objectified world. That is called Pravivikta book. Pravivikta book means, Vivikta means separated. Okay. Enjoyer of subtle objects. Enjoyer of subtle objects. Now, who is the enjoyer? Is the Jiva enjoyer or Taijasa is the enjoyer? In reality, Taijasa only appear, that universal consciousness only appears as subject and object. From the universal consciousness point of view, subject and object is not real. It's not there. It's bliss only. From Jiva point of view, that subject and object appears to be, I am the subject and the tiger is chasing me. Because subject-object duality has appeared, not really happened. So we don't understand this, our vasanas coming and affecting us like this. Vasana in the waking state, that I am the doer, I am the body, that vasana is getting stored. And some part of the vasana is getting projected in the dream state. So a lady was going in a Kabban park. A hefty fellow starts coming behind us. She hears the sound of boot. She starts running. That fellow is also running behind her. Finally, she gets exhausted and collapses. And that hefty fellow comes near her. Then she is afraid and asks him, now what are you going to do to me? Then hefty fellow says, my dear lady, you have to tell me what I have to do, because I am your dream character. Our impressions in the waking state come as dream experiences. Without understanding that waking state, there's no duality. The subject and object is appearance of one consciousness only. The sense of separation of one consciousness into I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect is creating impressions in us. And that impression becomes a karma, prarabdha karma. And that's what comes in the dream state. And the prarabdha karma is cherry picked by the Taijasa for projection. And if Jiva is given a choice, the Jiva is given a choice, always he'll live in paradise, no? Dream character. Jiva will enjoy always paradise, very beautiful dreams. Jiva is not given a choice. So now we are coming to a deep sleep state. Deep sleep is a very important state because it helps us to understand non-duality, Brahman. Pravibhukta book means subject and object is split. Vibhukta. Pravibhukta book means one reality gets split into two, subject and object. That's more clear in dream state compared to waking state. Vibhukta means split into two. One becomes appearance two. And enjoy that. Yatra supto na kanchana kamam kamayate na kanchana swapnam pashyati tat sushuptam. This is from Mandukya Upanishad, sloka number 5. The state of deep sleep, wherein the sleeper does not desire any objects. Okay? There's no desire for any objects. And he does not see any dream. Is the third appearance called Pradna, whose pair is deep sleep, in whom all experience becomes unified or undifferentiated. There's no experience and subject object duality. Who is verily a homogeneous mass of consciousness, full of bliss, who is indeed enjoyer of bliss, and who is the gateway for the projection of consciousness in the waking and dreaming state, the other two states. Okay. So this is the definition of deep sleep. We'll take deep sleep in more detail in the next class. So let us sit silently for some time. Nididhyasa. This is how serials work, okay? I fond of watching Netflix serials. They'll stop exactly at the interesting point so that you have to watch the next serial. So in actually some of these Korean serials, what they do, they end the serial very interesting point and they see 3 or 4 scenes of the next serial, not full. So they give a preview. So this also, Upanishad also will give the preview of next sloka, preview. The actual sloka you have to attend the next class. Okay. Yeah, introduction. Because deep sleep itself takes quite a bit of understanding. Let us close our eyes. Become aware of world around us. What is the meaning of around us and inside me? Is there two, inside and outside? We always refer to body as inside me. Is body not a part of the world? Did body and the world appear together or what? Can world appear without a body? The body and world have appeared together. But the consciousness illuminating the body says, I'm separate from the world, feels I'm separate from the world, which is actually artificially splitting up one reality into two, subject and object. Let us do antarnidhyasa, go deeper inside the subject. When I close my eyes, the mental world opens up. Thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Thoughts, feelings, and emotions change, but the witness, Sakshi, Pratyeka Atma, does not change. I am the witness. I am illuminating thoughts, feelings, emotions. The thoughts keep changing, feelings keep changing. What is changing is anitya. What is anitya is mithya, unreal also. It's not really there. Rupanvit Savikalpa. I am the Sakshi, I am the witness. Thoughts and feelings and emotions are illuminated by the light. Taijasa. My light, awareness illuminates all these. I am the light, Atma Jyoti, illuminating the mental world of not just one body, illuminate the mental world of all the bodies. I am the Sakshi, the witness. Shabdan with Savikalpa. Sakshi is Asanga, unattached. Thoughts, feelings, emotions do not attach to Sakshi. Sakshi is Sachidananda Swarupa. Sakshi is Akarta, non-doer. Abhokta, non-enjoyer. Not a knower also. Deep sleep state is my real state, Sakshi. All the appearances are mithya. My nature is bliss, Ananda. Nirvikalpa, Antar Nirvikalpa. Sit silently as pure awareness. Asatoma, Sadgamaya, Tamasoma, Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma, Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamuduchate, Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Nanu, Naninbudu, Nanalla, Ideha, Manabuddhi, Nanalla, Sachidanandatma, Shivananani, Shivoham, 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 Atmadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam, Satyadarshanam, Antarjyoti, Bahirjyoti, Pratyek Jyoti, Paratpara, Jyotireva Jyoti, Swayam Jyoti, Atma Jyoti, Shivosmiham, Lokaha Samastaha, Sukhino Bhavantu, Lokaha Samastaha, Sukhino Bhavantu, Lokaha Samastaha, Sukhino Bhavantu. Harihi Om, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Harihi Om. Rub both of your hands, give one to the eyes, slowly open your eyes. You can go to Light of Self Foundation website, YouTube channel, subscribe to that or forward to others. You can also look at children's channel, I Lead. Anybody has any questions about dream state?
Namaste, Guruji.
Ram. Yes, Ramesh.
Illi Guruji, full enjoyment defeat ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ವೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಶ್ವ enjoy ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಡ್ರೀಮ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತೇಜಸ್ ಎಂಜಾಯ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. Let me hope at least in the dream state, bliss will belong to me at least. ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು. ವೆರಿ ಫುಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ಗುರುಜಿ. So Advaita ಅನ್ನೋದು totally eliminated actually in this. Whole thing is belong to either Vishwanara Tejas ಅಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ individuality ಏನ್ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ.
Illusion of individuality.
Illusion is only illusion remains.
So, any questions? Dipti?
Pranam Gurudeva.
Yes. Dipti?
One beautiful thing when you said that the dream is happening as per your prarabdha karma.
Uh-huh.
So that led me think that it is not only one stream. So there are so many more characters. So more characters, it's their dream also. So one happening is a part to many things. So it appeared like a intervened web, like, and it's so funny that we say that if it's a dream, you get into the dream. It happens because of your prarabdha, and in the dream again, because your prarabdha is there, that was a dream. You acted into it. It was illusionary. I mean, there was so much of it's just like a web, and when within the dream you get to hear this, so you have to wake up. Now you are already waken up. That realization, I mean, it just appeared like a whole lot of web to me.
That's a beautiful movie in English called Matrix.
Yeah.
It's Maya, web of Maya.
Yes.
Ram Prakash, can you mute? Okay. Yes, Dipti. Go ahead.
Prabhuji?
Yes, Venkat?
Prabhuji, you started off with the potential knower and the knower who's ignorant, and then the doer and doer and experiencer, right?
Correct.
So this sequence, you said only knower has the ignorance, right, Prabhuji? And so fixing the knower, I think doer and enjoyer do not have the ignorance.
Doer and enjoyer, there's actually identity taken by the knower.
So how the knower, because in the way you explained Vaishwanara, right, there is a waking world and then there is a experiencer, right, Prabhuji?
Correct.
So how do you reconcile this knower to that of experiencer? How do you reconcile in the waking or dream state, Prabhuji?
No. See, the waker, the moment he wakes up, he sees the world, right, which is separate from him. Obviously, something happening in the world doesn't pain his body, right? So,
yes.
I feeling, I take it as a separation from the world. Feeling is my judgment. So, for example, if this pot is broken, no pain will happen to me. So pot is separate from me, correct? So there is a sense of feeling of separation from the objective world. So I separate the world into two, object and subject, correct? And the subject, I limit myself to body. Correct, no?
Yes, Prabhuji. I think the vritti will separate it out.
The vritti will separate out, correct? So in that separation, there is a joy or sorrow, again appears to be contained within the body.
Okay. So the waker really assigns that associates, hence, there is a individualism as a result.
Correct. He associates the mind. He associates the mind, which is a vritti, thought, and thinks that I'm joyful or I'm going through suffering.
Got it, Prabhuji. So that is a, eventually it's a memory only.
It's a memory only. It's a memory only. Everything, all thoughts are nothing but memory only. Vritti only.
Got it, Prabhuji. Now, in this illumination, the Bahir Jyotihi, you associated that Bahir Jyotihi with the Vaishwanara also.
Correct. Vaishwanara is the Bahir Jyoti, no? Outer world.
So the Vaishwanara illuminates the outer world. Also, it is also experiencing
and doing also. All bodies are maintained by Vaishwanara. All bodies in the universe are maintained by Vaishwanara.
The doing, experiencing, even knowing right? Is of the Vaishwanara.
So now here, because Jiva is superimposed on Vaishwanara, even though Vaishwanara has no ignorance because he is the totality, from Jiva point of view, to eliminate the ignorance, So Jiva is said that you're a part of the whole thing. Jiva, your body mind appeared as a part of the whole world. It didn't appear separately.
Correct, Prabhuji. So the knower, once the ignorance is gone of the knower, then there is even the potential knower is of no use.
No, potential knower is you, Atma, which is non-dual, Brahman only. The potential knower.
Potential become the Taijasa and the Vaishvanara, right, Prabhuji?
Right.
That potential continues, but the individualism is burnt out.
Individually is no longer there, no? It was appearance only.
Yeah, okay, Prabhuji. Got it, Prabhuji.
Individual's appearance only, right? In the process, Pratyekatma, nothing has happened. Pratyekatma is Brahman only. Only superimposition has happened. Appearance has superimposed. Pratyekatma is like movie screen. It has not become something else. It has appeared as Taisa. It has appeared as Hiranyagarbha. It has appeared as Vaishvanara.
I think this is clear, Prabhuji, now. Now, this is completely clear. Now, those impressions that move between the waking to the dream, these impressions that we talked about, how this knowledge, this is a knowledge, right, Prabhuji? That knowledge is remaining as a reminder that moves between the states.
Right.
Is this knowledge also, how do you reconcile this knowledge that left over, that moves between?
So that is the part of the question which will be answered in next serial.
Okay, right, Prabhuji.
Okay,
Prabhuji. Okay.
We'll go to Karana Rupa, no? Causal form.
Okay, Prabhuji. We'll wait,
Right?
Prabhuji.
So you cannot miss the next part.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hari Om,
Hari Om, Prabhuji.
Hari Om, Mani.
Prabhuji, coming to Hiranyagarbha and Taijasa Deva. So Hiranyagarbha is the sum total of all subtle bodies.
Hiranyagarbha is a subtle world. Body and subtle world, both.
Subtle bodies and subtle world.
Correct.
So it is like the screen and Taijasa is like the appearance that...
No. Screen is always Atma. Which is Pratyekatma.
So Hiranyagarbha is... yes.
Hiranyagarbha is a totality. Okay. In totality, there's no subject of the duality, right? Totality is always bliss. Correct now? Totality is always bliss.
Yes.
But Jiva is not in bliss because Jiva has appeared. It seems I am separate from the world. So Jiva, the confusion to remove, Taijasa concept is brought in. It says the totality is experiencing through you. You are not an individual experiencer.
Okay.
Right? It's Taijasa is nothing but Hiranyagarbha only. But this Jiva is superimposed on Taijasa to say there's an experiencer is brought in. In reality, Taijasa doesn't experience anything because it's the totality. Taijasa is nothing but Hiranyagarbha only.
Okay.
But Jiva doesn't understand it now. So the Jiva, my dear Jiva, you appeared in the dream character. In the dream character, the dream world also appeared. So dream character and dream world appear together. So, but you think that you are separate from the dream world and experiencing joy and sorrow in the dream world. Right? That is first level of understanding. Second thing is that dream character, dream world is not specific to you. It's a universal experience to all living beings. That universal experience is called Taijasa.
Okay.
So nothing of you as a private property remains after you go through Mandukya Karika. Everything belongs. That's one, you know. Isha Vasevidam Sarvam. Everything is provided by Ishvara means that.
All myths are busted.
All myths are. So now you are to saying, I am doing sadhana. Who is doing sadhana? It's the Hiranyagarbha through you doing sadhana.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. So, anything, Shravan?
No, Prabhuji, it's clear. Hari Om.
Hari Om. If anybody else has question, you can ask. Narsimhamurthy.
Shirasashtanga Namaskara, Prabhuji.
Namaskara. Clear idea?
Clear agide, Prabhuji. Actually, summary noಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ it's like instilling a thought which inherits the sakshi. Instilling a thought, continuously running thought in me, which actually inherits all the properties of the sakshi, or wiping out the vasanas and instill the Sakshi attributes into it.
Actually, there's nothing to be instilled. It's a wrong understanding. You should clarify. That's our step. See,
That's Vidya.
Yeah. We have to see we are under interpreting life in a wrong way.
Yes.
The wrong understanding we are corrected. We don't have to keep on doing it. Correction has to happen in our understanding.
Essentially, correction can happen in two ways. One is delayed approach through vasanas, or inline approach wherein a thread of thought is running, which has the attributes or characteristics of the Sakshi.
I thought borrows from Sakshi, and I thought identifies the body, the vasana. So we need to correct it.
Essentially, giving up ego and stay within the Sakshi.
I don't say giving up the ego, understand real source of ego.
Okay,
So
got
real
it.
source of ego is Sakshi only.
Okay.
Confused with the body.
Yes, that is actually Vidya.
Okay. So we'll close for the day. Now at 11:40, we'll start Kannada. Same Zoom session will continue. 11:40 Kannada session.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. 11:40 Kannada master ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Okay?
Hari Om Prabhuji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om Gurudeva. Prabhuji.
Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om.
Om.